How to spot a bad house in Scottsdale. And if you're moving here from another market, listen close because Arizona is its own animal. Our roofs, our slabs, our sun, they break down in ways they just don't anywhere else. The stuff that actually matters here is stuff you've probably never had to think about. Here's the trap I watch buyers fall into. Everybody fixates on the purchase price. What did we get it for? Did we win the deal? And then they completely miss the number that truly matters, because that same gorgeous house can quietly pull tens of thousands of dollars back out of your pocket over the next few years. And with the wrong one, close to 100 grand. A roof that's secretly a $25,000 job, a foundation that's slowly expanding under your feet, a sewer line that's $40,000 surprise waiting to happen. None of it shows up in the listing and nobody tells you to look for it. So I'm gonna show you the 7 things I check on every house here, what they actually cost, and the ones most likely to wreck your budget after you've moved in. Stay until the end because the one that's quietly costed my clients the most amount of money is hiding in plain sight and you can't see it from inside the house. Number 1, which way a home faces. The very first thing I check before we even tour is which way the house faces orientation-wise. West is the big one. A west-facing front or backyard takes the full afternoon sun, and in our summers, that is brutal. The patio bakes, the pool is unusable in the afternoon, the rooms on that side run very hot, and your energy bills will climb, and your finishes will fade faster. North-facing has the opposite problem. Depending on the lot and how much foliage is around it, a north-facing home can actually be really dark. So it's not that one direction is perfect and the rest are bad, it's just that the orientation is one thing on the entire list of problems that you can't renovate. You can redo a kitchen, but you can't turn the house. Number 2, the roof. A huge number of our homes here in Scottsdale were built in the late 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s, which means a lot of these roofs are at the end of their life, and the photos will never tell you that. Here's how I read a tile roof before I'm even inside the home. I look at the bird stop. That's the little metal piece that bridges the opening of the bottom of each S-tile, and when that's not present, I know that I'm working with an original roof. They didn't start making bird stop code until about 2005. So I know if it doesn't have bird stop, it was built prior to that. And I already know what I'm working with. Now here's what people from out of state get completely wrong. We do not replace the clay tiles here in Arizona. The tile itself lasts basically forever. What wears out is the underlayment underneath of the tile. So the real job is that you pull the tiles off, you stack them up, and you replace the underlayment and put the same tiles back on. If you don't know that, a roof bid sounds like a disaster. Usually it isn't. And here's the part that surprises everybody. The cost has almost nothing to do with how big the house is. It's about how much roof is actually up there. A single-story home spreads out so that there's way more roof. A 2-story stacks up so there's less. Let me give you a real example. A 2,300 square foot single level home where the garage is also under tile can run about $25,000 to redo. But a 2,600 square foot 2-story home, which is a bigger house, runs closer to $17,000 because there's simply less roof on top. So a smaller home can actually cost you more. The square footage of the home tells you almost nothing. The square footage of the roof is the whole story. Flat roofs are a different animal. Those are foam coated and the coating just needs to be redone every 5 to 7 years. It's just routine maintenance. It's not a scary number. So with any roof, the move is simple. Find out the age and type before you fall in love with a house. A roof you can put a number on is a roof you can plan around. Number 3, the windows. Back to the topic of the sun, the windows, our heat is hard on window seals, and over time, those seals break down. You'll see it as foggy or cloudy glass, almost like there's a condensation trapped in between the panes, because that's exactly what it is. And it really rears its head after monsoon rains. Here's the part people get wrong. Fogged windows do not mean you need to replace every single window in the house. That's an expensive assumption that everybody jumps to, even home inspectors. Realistically, seals need maintenance about every 10 years, and a bigger scope of work lands somewhere around the 20-year mark. And replacing the glass on a fogged window runs somewhere between $150 to $500. The best part, it's a clean fix. They're just swapping the glass so there's no tearing into your stucco or your drywall. No construction mess at all. So when I see foggy glass windows, I'm not panicking about a whole house window replacement. I'm thinking a couple $100 per window, and I can price it in. Now, if you choose to get all new windows, that's fantastic. You can do that. Just know you don't have to. Number 4, the foundation. Now let's get into the bones of the house. Number 4 is the one that scares buyers the most, and it shouldn't once you understand what it actually is. Most of our homes here in Scottsdale sit on traditional concrete slabs. And here's what goes wrong. Moisture gets in, possibly from landscape irrigation, and it gets into the rebar inside of the slab. It rusts and it expands. That expansion is what causes horizontal exterior cracking. So when I see that horizontal cracking on a foundation, I know exactly what it's telling me. I also watch for cracks running at 45-degree angles off of a window. Those two patterns get my attention every time. Now hear me out, because this word foundation makes everybody panic. This does not mean your house is failing or that the home is about to fall apart. The slab is not collapsing. It's expanding slowly over time, and that's what's compromising it. That is a completely different thing from a house falling down. And it's exactly why people are more afraid of this than they need to be. If it's a newer home from one of the big production builders like say Toll Brothers, it's probably on a post-tension slab, and those generally don't have this problem. So the age and the builder tell me a lot before I even get to the property. The good news is that this is fixable. It runs around $100 a linear foot, and we have a fantastic vendor that we trust for it. I'll always tell you this. There's often more rust inside of the slab that we can't see than the cracking we're seeing on the outside. So when you're trying to budget per linear foot, just know maybe if you're seeing 10 linear feet on the outside, you're gonna wanna plan for about 20 because there's probably more rusting inside the slab that we can't see. Number 5, the sewer line. Remember the one I told you that you can't see from inside the house at the beginning of the video? This is it. Number 5 has quietly cost people the most money of anything on this list, and it's the one I'm the most aggressive about. In older homes and newer homes, we see bellies where the pipe sags in the dirt and starts to collect debris, and we see cast iron in older homes that has gotten to the point where it needs to be coated. You cannot see any of this from inside the house, which is exactly why we scope the sewer on every single deal. It doesn't matter the price, and it doesn't matter when the home was built. And this is where the right team is the entire difference in your buying experience. We know how to handle this often without ripping up the interior plumbing to do it. Real example, we had clients get quoted $40,000 for a sewer fix when they called a plumber that they found on Yelp. And our team handled it, the same problem, with our vendor for around $7,000. Same house, same issue. The only difference was knowing what vendor to use. Number 6, mold. Now the last two are the ones people actually argue with me about. Mold in the desert, yes, we have it. I get it, it's dry here, and that typically helps, but dry does not mean that we don't see mold, because we do. So I'm not gonna pretend that it isn't a thing just because we're in Arizona. But here's what actually matters, and this is the part that people miss. Where the water comes from changes everything. A roof leak or some one-time water intrusion usually doesn't lead to mold, but a shower that runs every single day in a small space that never fully dries out, that's exactly where I expect to find it. So the wet areas of the home are where we look the hardest. And the good news is that it's testable. We have mold testing options, and we use them where it makes sense, in those wet areas where it's most likely to show up. So we don't guess and we don't panic, we test, and we know what to do if we find it. Number 7, HVAC. The last one, and it's the only one that you literally can't live without here, and that's your air conditioning. You can't survive a Scottsdale summer without it, so you have to make sure that you account for it. We see units that are 14 years, even 20 plus years old, and they're still running just fine. But an old unit is a real expense that you need to factor into your home purchase because it's coming for you eventually. You want to ballpark a new unit that runs somewhere between $5,000 and $9,000, depending on the tonnage. And a lot of our homes have 2 units, and in the luxury space, it can be up to 5. So do that math when you're budgeting. And here's the part that fools everybody. On a lot of our late 80s homes, you'll see what's called a roof pack. It sits on the roof, it looks a little strange, and people assume that it's kind of a less than home. But don't let that fool you. In air conditioning on the roof, those units are tanks. They might look a little weird, but it is not a bad thing. One tip that'll save you is that inspectors will test the unit for splits, and then it's good to go. But if the unit is 7 years or older, skip the home inspector's opinion and get an actual HVAC tech out there for a real read on the unit, not just a pass or a fail. That's how you know the true timeline of a unit instead of guessing. Remember when I said at the start that everybody negotiates the purchase price and almost nobody looks at what the house will cost them after they own it? That second number is the one that actually decides whether you got a good deal, and it's the one that I'm watching the entire time. And here's what I actually want you to walk away with. Not one of these things mean that you need to run. I've helped people buy homes with every single one of these problems, and they got a better house at a better price because we caught it first. Remember that $40,000 sewer line? We handled it for our buyer for $7,000 because we knew who to call. The danger was never the problem. The danger is not knowing it's there until it's already yours, and it's also not knowing who to call in those situations. So you don't need to be scared of these houses. You need someone in your corner who sees them coming before you close. If you've bought or sold here, tell me the red flag you would add to this list. Drop it in the comments because somebody shopping right now might need to know it. And make sure to hit that subscribe button because I break down Scottsdale real estate like this every single week. And if you want to search homes for sale here in Scottsdale, you can find a link to our custom search app in the description below. If you want to chat with me directly, you can find my information below as well. I'll see you next week. I'm Shay Noonan. I'm the team lead at the One Team Scottsdale.